Yo, guys, we got another Real Estate Uncensored Marketing Roundtable. Now, we are going to get Sarge in here as soon as he gets off a couple of calls that he's doing right now, but we have an absolutely amazing thing that we're going to be talking about today. Should you spend money? Should you not spend money when it comes to leads? Nick and Kyle have been already going at it tooth and nail behind the scenes. They've been boxing like freaking like professionals, and it's hilarious and entertaining to watch what they're coming from and kind of see their different points of views. Kyle's an absolute devastator when it comes to this stuff, but I have to give acknowledgments to my good dear friend, the evil bald ninja, Mr. Gene Volpe.
We're not doing the countdown today.
Oh fuck!
I like talking shit behind scenes. Let's go.
Okay, give me a fucking second. God damn it.
Slow.
Fucking busting.
And I don't know what acknowledgence is either.
Me neither. It just came out of my mouth. That was totally not right. But here we go. Here's our countdown.
I think it's very important. You tell the people why we're late today, right?
That would be me and you.
Can I tell you a question? Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah, you got 3 seconds.
Grade school and high school football, my coach used to say to me, Volpe, stop grab assing. You know what grab assing is?
Yeah, it's something we're not going to talk about on this show, you sicko.
It's what guys. You're just doing while I'm sitting here waiting to go live. The people are waiting. You're out there grab assing. What are you doing?
That makes a lot of sense.
Doesn't it?
Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Whatsoever. Volpe, quit grab assing.
All right. So, Gene Volpe, welcome, my friend, as one of my co-hosts. Nick, we have Mr. Nick Sakis as my other co-host. Gentlemen, how are you guys today? You're beautiful human beings.
Sakis, you listen. You're the handsomest dude on this whole show right now.
Oh, come on.
He is.
Come on.
The ever shrinking man. This guy has lost 190,000 pounds, in the last like 2 days. I mean, he's just crushing it.
The number's 140 this week, gentlemen.
Listen, everybody. He's our very own Suzanne Summers. You keep working out that punching bag, son.
I'm going to get some scrunchy socks for my stories in the garage. Yeah, for sure.
Viral. Oh, my God. Yeah. You guys are retarded. I love both of you, and I love it. Nick, you're amazing. Gene, obviously, you're amazing, but we have another amazing human being here. Nick, I want you to introduce our guest today, because you guys are going at it like two angry cats on the pre-show. So
that is not true.
Listen. Kyle came in. He's got his hat on backwards. He's got his earmuffs on. He's ready to fight, right? We're ready to go toe-to-toe. But this guy is, from my understanding, I don't know him personally, right?
Yeah, it's really cool when you get to intro somebody you don't even know. So I'm not jealous of you at all.
On our pre-call, all we were talking about was organic versus paid, right? So everybody knows that I'm a big believer in paid advertising for leverage. But a lot of the stuff that we were talking about with Kyle in the beginning was kind of the intro tactics. And so I love the fact that he's on the completely opposite realm of what I do, or not necessarily believe in, but that's what I do. So I'm interested to get his take on some entry-level stuff, or not necessarily entry-level. I'm not going to, but if you don't have $1,000 a month to spend on ads, what do? You call somebody like Kyle who has a system in place on how to bob and weave through all these different platforms and what you should be doing. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, Kyle, that's awesome. Kyle, let everybody know who you are, where you're from, what your favorite color is, and what your favorite thing to do on the weekend is.
All right. I'm Kyle Draper. I go by Coach Kyle. I don't know how. I think just I like alliteration. And so people are like, what do you coach? I'm like, I don't really coach stuff, but that's what I go by. I'm an organic social media expert. I have also what I call content compounding, where we take people's video content and then mass produce that in micro content so that they can build out their brand and be anywhere and everywhere that they want to be with minimum effort. And man, that's what I do. Before COVID, I was traveling the country talking about social media and marketing and video. And now I'm in sweatpants in my office with big old huge headphones on talking to you guys.
Dude, I'm wearing no shoes with painted toenails in my camo shorts. So love I think life is a little bit changed that just a little bit, but that's the
painted toenails.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah, I heard that.
Talk about that for a minute.
Huh? Can
we talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, because I'm going to slap you down because I'm going to tell you how it works.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Because here's what it is. Listen, I think when you especially when you have daughters, it's acceptable once. We talked about this on a show like 3 weeks ago, which tells me that either you're a superhuman.
There's been some touching up.
There's been some touching up. There's been a second attempt at painting the toenails. And I don't know how you're going to explain your way out of that, but go for it.
Okay, so here's the thing. So you have a girlfriend. It's during COVID, right? And she wants to, like, I keep telling the story that she wanted to experiment with different toenail polishes and fingernail polishes. And I said she'd get one toe. She got 10. And here's the thing. I was walking down my
out of my married.
What?
She wanted one toe. She got 10. I said, wait till you get married.
She's got 10 fingers and 10 toes. I'm fucked. But here's the thing. So I was walking down the stairs from my unit, my condo the other day, and this gal was asking me for directions on something. And I was wearing my flip-flops like I always wear. And she looks at me. I look at her, and I complimented her dog. And she's like, oh my God, I love your painted toenails. And I'm like, thank you, girlfriend, COVID. You know how it goes. She laughed. She said, what do you do for a living? And I say, I sell real estate. She's like, oh my God, I have to work with someone that's like you because you're like me. And I looked at her toes and I'm like, oh my God, you have painted toenails too. That's awesome. Now, look, I'm a straight guy that, and shut up, Gene. And I was just like, oh my God, like I bonded over painted toenails. And that's where I kind of want to take this conversation is that, what Kyle does is he's going to do free. So Kyle, run me through this. So I'm your client, right?
Yep.
And then Nick, I want you to counteract this. And then Gene, I want you to jump on this as well. I tell you this story as my coach, right? I say, this is what happened. This is how it's going. How can you make this into something that I can, then market? How can I get leads from this?
Yeah. Well, so that story is playing into exactly what I love to do on the organic side, which is people don't need to be reminded what we do. They need to be reminded that we exist.
Mm-hmm.
And and this is how this all started is years ago, I sat in the back of a room. And if I said the company and what the event was, everyone would know it. And I listened to the teacher, right, to the coach at the front say, if you're not reminding your people every 3 days what you do for a living, they are forgetting.
Yeah.
And I was so mortified by that because I thought, man, if we're in a relationship business, which I believe real estate is, and I also believe that we can leverage relationship through digital ad spend as well, right? So I'm not, Greg's trying to paint this big picture of us fighting, and if I need to play the extreme to the opposite side so that we can bring intensity to the table, then I'll do so. But I believe that we just need to remind our people that we exist because there's moments on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn every day, like the moment you had with that woman outside of your condo, where you just simply showed up at the right time in the right moment with those beautiful toes exposed so you could create conversation, right? Now, here's what we can't do. We can't go manipulate that and go, man, once a week, I'm going to talk about how my toes are painted. That's like a new funnel. I'm going to have a painted toes funnel. That's not how it works. But what it does show and prove to me is that what we think people are attracted to and what they're actually attracted to are very different things.
Yeah.
People don't need to be attracted to like, well, what are your numbers, right? Hey, Greg, how many units have you sold in the last 6 months? Right? No, it started with just a simple, oh, I love your toes. And then you, because you're funny, you leverage that as a moment for humor. Humor is an endearing quality. Humor begins to breed trust. And as soon as trust is established, in my opinion, it's only a matter of time before somebody buys what you have or refers you to someone that will.
Yeah.
And so that's how I would have began to coach you through that moment and said, we need to at least put a picture of some sort of your toes on social and then ask a question, hey dads or hey men, ever had your toes painted? What shade do you like the most? Like something to create engagement, because I'm a dad of a daughter. And I will say, Gene, that I have had my toes painted far more than one time. And I'm a better man for it. And my wife and daughter love me more for my willingness. And man, that moment gives me a reason to like you more than just, oh, you do real estate. Cool. I'll put that in the back of my mind and then I'll forget about it by tomorrow. So that's the angle that I would kind of take with with that specific story.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the things that I did is I actually really did. I had that conversation with a couple of folks, and they made fun of me. One of them was Gene, and the other one was Nick, and then of course Matt. But you know what? You know what I did? I laughed it off, and I'm like, I can't believe this fucking worked. Like, this is retarded.
Yep.
I mean, I used to have 2 cats. You know, they've both since died, which really fucking sucks. But the whole point of the story is that, you know, I used to say like, hey man, I'm a straight guy with 2 cats. If you don't like me, fuck off and die. And if you want to kick it, that's cool. And people came out of the woodwork, and I got literally gifted a $30,000 coaching program and mentor program. And the only reason why is because he had a black cat, I had a black cat. And we just bonded on that thing. Nick, how would you market this? Okay, so we have the free side. Nick and Gene, guys, how would you market this? Now, let's say we have a couple of dollars behind this. You know, Kyle has been able to get some visibility for us. How would you leverage this on a higher scale? Nick.
Yeah, so, a lot of good stuff there, and we talked about how we were going back and forth before the pre-show because I thought we were live, and I was just going on a rant.
Yeah, you were.
Before anybody told me shut up, we're not live yet, which is cool, whatever. So I guess I got a little bit of a practice, but how much pressure, like, so if you're listening to this, whether it's on the replay or whatever, have this in your mind. How much pressure have you felt in the past 2 to 3 years as a real estate agent to get a market update video done?
Me.
Like,
Gross.
it's so gross. It's disgusting how many people have anxiety when you talk to them. Like, I just need to get my market update video. Well, let me tell you something about a market update video. That speaks to about 0.5% of the people that are going to see your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what Coach Kyle talks about is engaging the people on a human basis. And so the world that we live in right now, we used to say stuff like, if it's not on your calendar, it's not going to get done. We've probably all heard of that as far as time blocking and scheduling. Now, version 2.0 of that, if you didn't document it on social media, it didn't happen.
Yep.
So all we're asking you to do is be human on social, okay? So if you want to create a big brand and a big following, then you have to look at yourself as a publicist of content, publisher of content, and you publish these little things here and there, tidbits, right? As your daily life, as you go through. We touched on this a couple shows ago about highlighting shit that goes bad in a deal, which I still firmly believe. You're with an inspector, you know, there's a hole in the like. You need to highlight some negativity too, not just all unicorns and rainbows that you got 10,000 over asking and all this bullshit that happens every day.
Mm-hmm.
Highlight some real stuff. Let people build an interaction with you. And then once you see what works, you can then put some ad spend behind what works, because chances are if your sphere and direct people around you like that content, then cold traffic, if you put some money behind it, it doesn't have to be just cold traffic. You can put money behind it to reach more people that you already know about. That's called retargeting. But yes, so it's a marriage. It should be a blend. You don't have to necessarily go right into the cold traffic lane, but document your journey, document your life, build those relationships. And then once you get a winner, then you put some money on it.
I love that. Love that. Gene, your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I don't know how many thoughts I can add to it. I think most people make this more difficult than it needs to be. And I think that the reason why that lady stopped in the elevator is because she noticed something different. And, you know, if you fall into that, the same exact thing that everybody sees on their feed every single day, they're not going to stop and notice you. But that minute you put that goofy toenail polish on, and I'm using that as a, you know, like an example. That's not really what I'm saying to do. But the minute you step out of your comfort zone and do a little something different on your feed, and that gets people to stop, that's victory number one. And then number two is, if they can connect with you because the information you're putting out there is real, legit, vulnerable, not a sales pitch, they'll come back a second time. So the next time they see something about you, they'll look again. And I think, yeah, people tend to overthink this stuff. And it starts with the camera. Like, we talk about this a million times. It's, you know, how many times do you have your camera out at a dance recital with your kids, and you know you're going to miss something? You go, oh, hit this button twice. There it is. Boom. I got it. I got the whole video. It looks great. But when it comes to marketing yourself, you can't. My hair doesn't look great. I don't know what's going to happen when the live button goes. And what if people don't see me right away? Is there a delay on this thing? Like, just hit the fucking button, man. Like, hit the button and see what comes of it. I mean, I have this thing, Greg. We talk about this all the time. How do you make a video go viral? How do you guarantee that a video is going to go viral? Can you answer that?
Yeah, puppies, kids, and kittens.
Well, I mean, when I'm talking about viral, I'm talking about Gary V viral. The answer is you can't, right? There's no way we can predict that. How can you guarantee a video is not going to go viral?
Don't do a video.
Don't do a video. So why not
say I love referrals?
What's that?
Say that I love referrals.
Say I love you. Well, that's a good way too. But I can guarantee, that if you don't do a video, nobody's going to see it.
Yeah,
it's guaranteed. Don't overthink it. Just jump in and do it, and stop being so hard on yourself. All your tics and your stutter and your bald head and your painted toenails are exactly the reason people in your circle love you.
Yeah.
So, Kyle, if you're going to take this and you're going to say, okay, look, motherfucker, you just need to start doing shit. Where would you direct people to start, either spending money or not spending money? I know you, Nick, and Gene, we have all 4 different opinions on this, but I want to get your thoughts on this. So let's talk about the 22-year-old male or female that just came out of college. They're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They want to, I love real estate because houses are so fun, attitude, which, by the way, if you're listening to this, you're fucked if that's your attitude. And just telling you, at 21 years in the business, father with 50 years in the business, believe me, you got to change your attitude. So let's say they have that attitude, right? Walk me through how they could go at a zero-cost basis to get visibility, and then Gene and Nick chime in and say, okay, how we're going to double down on the free side. So Kyle, walk us through that.
Yeah, Greg, it's a great question. Where I like to start with people is simply asking them 2 questions. One, what do people ask you all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Like, period. Right now, some people would even curb this to just be real estate related. What real estate related questions do you get most? I expand that to just say, what do people ask you about the most, right? For Nick's lost 140 pounds. So I bet right now, he's getting asked more about his weight loss than he is about his Facebook ad campaigns.
Yep.
Right.
Shit.
And so
Nick lost my girlfriend. I mean, like, damn.
Incredible,
congrats.
Man. It's unbelievable. And so he would be foolish, in my opinion, if he was trying to avoid those conversations, because those are the ones right now that people want to talk about the most. Right. If he's married and a year from now they have a baby, well, guess what's going to take the precedence over anything else, right? Oh my gosh, you just had your baby, right? Like, what's all the questions around that? So what are you being asked on a regular basis? And then take all of those questions and make videos about them, right? Educate people on the most commonly asked questions that you are always being asked. And then the second question that I love to ask people is, what are you shocked that people don't already know?
Oh.
Right. Yep, that's a great one.
When you get a purr, you hit it, right? And so that's like, so I love to tell realtors, when you get in your car from Starbucks after a listing appointment, after a buyer consultation, and you go, how did they not already know that? That should be your next video that you literally do in the front seat of your car before you've pulled out of the parking lot, and you make it conversational, right? We don't end it. So this is a big thing for me, and I'd love y'all's opinion of this. Like, I hate when people introduce themselves on their videos because it instantly makes it feel like you don't already know me.
It also gives you an excuse to keep scrolling.
No doubt. Right. So
here's a funny thing, and kind of I'm dovetailing on what you're saying, because I think what you're bringing up is absolutely fucking awesome. I had a friend of mine, I'm not going to bring up their name. It was a number of years ago, and I should have made a video about it, and I probably will now because of your coaching. And they looked at me one day and they're like, "Oh my God, what's a short sale? Does that mean it sells really fast?" And I'm like, No, that's not what it means. And I explained it to this individual, and they were like, "Oh, I had no idea about that." So I love the idea of what you're talking about, man. Like, use real world, real environment, real interactions with people. It doesn't matter what it is. Just start making videos about everything. Like, document the shit out of your life about this stuff.
Well, and that's what Gene was saying, right? And my big thing that I love to coach people through is, at some point, I have to care more about adding value to others than I care about making myself look foolish.
Yeah.
If I always value adding value more, who gives a crap if I look stupid? Who cares if I forget what I was going to say? More often than not, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put my best foot forward because I'm a professional. But we get hung up on the what if of the worst case scenario, and it completely handcuffs us and causes us to have a great idea and then do nothing.
Yeah, and I want to do two things there. One is also, Kyle, 9 times out of 10, that starts in a conversation. Like, dude, you use this word when you should use that word, right? Oh, you know what? You're right. I did. I screwed that up. By the way, thanks for watching, right? Like,
right.
You were watching it.
That's right.
The other thing, too, when you were talking about real estate, when you made your points about what are the things that people forget, I was on a call yesterday, a video conference call with a personal trainer. And I'm going to go in there. I told him to make a workout for me. I'm going to go in Friday, and he's going to run me through the ringer. And I want him to watch my form on some of the things that I'm doing. And we started to get into what he does. And he was like, I don't know how I would relay out what it is that I'm doing. And I said, what's your primary component of working out? He said, the kettlebell. And I was like, yeah, how stupid and boring is the kettlebell? It's just a piece of iron that weighs a certain amount of weight. What can you do with that? He's like, well, yeah. And I know the answer. I'm setting him up, right? So is this proper form when we're doing a suitcase carry? How about Russian swings? How about American swings? How about one-handed swings? How about a squat? How about a snatch? Double-handed squats? Like there's 70 things you can do. What'd you say?
A snatch?
I knew you were going to go there. How many things can you do with this piece of iron? Probably 70. So could you do a video on the proper form for getting that kettlebell above your head the right way? Yeah. How many people, do you know what a Turkish getup is? Can you show all the functions of a Turkish getup? And he was like, man, you're not kidding. I'm like, the problem is that you think as a real estate agent that because you know these 6 million things, so does everybody else. Right. Most people in the world don't know what a short sale is, right? It's a select group of people, investors, people that have done it before, and real estate agents, and then this, mortgage brokers, those people. But the majority of the universe has no idea what a short sale is. Just because you know it and you've done 70 of them means nothing as it pertains to your audience. So why wouldn't you spend a minute on it? Leave the definition out there and hey, watch this one. Ready? Hey, did you know that you can legally borrow from your IRA to invest in real estate? And you know what would happen in my feed? I would get, no, you can't. You're going to go to jail. It's illegal. And then I would drop the IRS actual link of how you do it in there and go, no, you can. And call me if you want me to walk you through it, right? Like there's just so many things in your world that people have no idea how they work. And if you spent 40 seconds on each one, just educating, not selling, people would call you for that, for something.
So true. Yeah. I love that.
That's something that I think a lot of people don't do. We discount our own knowledge because we feel that other people just should know it already. Like it's, if you were to go to a car dealer, and they're going to spout off all these different terms about when you're buying a new car, you're going like, the fuck are you talking about? Or if you go to any other business and they just, like, you go to your CPA and he's talking about this, that, or another thing, you're like, I feel really stupid right now. But the same thing with real estate, with coaching, with training, with prospecting, with lead gen, with the internet and everything else. I mean, Nick and Gene and Kyle, you guys are geniuses when it comes to this stuff. I mean, a lot of the times when I would sit with Gene and Nick before in the past, my brain would hurt when I get off the phone with them because I'm like, what the shit did this guy just tell me? Right. And they're like, oh, you don't know what blah, 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 yakety schmack is? I'm like, no. And Jake Wolf, who's one of our co-hosts here. I mean, it took a year for me to understand his marketing side. So don't discredit that information that you have in your brain. When somebody asks you a question, jot that shit down. You guys see me looking down. Everyone who's watching the video, if you guys are watching, you see me jotting stuff down. It's because I'm writing notes that I'm taking from you guys to then implement and ask questions later after the show. And that's the power of being inquisitive. The most powerful people in real estate are the people that are sitting in the front row, writing as many notes as humanly possible and asking as many questions as they possibly can to the most powerful people in their sphere, because they're trying to learn. I mean, guys, give me some ideas on this. Like, how can people, grow from that?
Okay, so I would love to take this moment to introduce something that I teach called passive branding. And the technical definition of this, like Gene and Nick might go, that's not the way that I would define passive branding, right? So I think this has just become unique to what I do. But the way I teach passive branding is we can passively brand ourselves without ever having to feel salesy to anyone. So based off, Greg, what you just said, realtors, imagine you're at a big team meeting. You're sitting on the front row. A guest speaker comes in, says a couple things that you're like, holy crap. You write them down like you're doing right now. And then you jump on camera. And those of you who don't know me, everything I talk about is always going to come back to video. That's who I am. That's what I think is most powerful. And then you do a video that goes like this. Guys, this morning, I was at our monthly team meeting at our real estate company, and Mr. So-and-so came in, and I just got to tell y'all something that he said, and then help you understand why it made a difference for me. I just reminded you, I was at my real estate company sitting at a team meeting. So if you're in a quandary for real estate needs, I just reminded you very passively that I'm your guy, I'm your girl. But then I'm going to take a step further and actually create value for you based on knowledge that was dropped upon me as a part of that meeting. And so this is like passive branding is also everything that is behind Nick and Gene right now. Right? I've been trying to squint and like look at the things that Nick has back there because it's obvious that they're all on purpose. Guys, I've won business because, how do I do it? Because of this Ray Lewis jersey that's behind me. And I haven't even set up my new office yet. But I've had people go, is that Ray Lewis? He's my favorite player. And then I tell the story of how I got that jersey and why I love him so much. And boom, they're signing up to be a part of my program. It's passive branding. And nobody wants to do it because we overthink everything. But all those little bobbleheads on the top of Nick's screen, those can make a difference in somebody choosing him or somebody else for them to run their campaigns. And it's just, man, it's so powerful. We do the same thing. I'll do videos where I know my kids will distract me. And I'll act as if I'm like, oh, I didn't even know you were here, right? And my 6-year-old will come in, my 8-year-old will come in. Now the viewers get to see me in a different light of a loving father, right? Kissing on my kids, not being the guy that's like, get out of here. And I'll like mute myself, but you can see me going crazy in the background. We're so afraid of letting people into the other aspects of our life where, again, to go back to the toenails, that may be the moment that gets them to choose us. And we've chose to overlook all of those moments because we've got to be professional and business-like all the time.
Yeah. And
I just think it's huge.
Yeah, it's letting down your guard, which has been the most profound thing on God's green earth. Because guys, look, we take a shit at least once a day. Every one of us, we put our pants on one leg at a time. We have, hopes, dreams, worries, fears. Some of us have kids. Well, the three of you have kids. I have no kids. We have different things that we want to aspire to. And it's okay because your tribe will come to you. And then, Kyle, how would you market to that? So let's say, so here's the funny thing. Going back to my 2 cats, when I had my 2 cats here, I had my fat little girl, Sudi, and I love that little fat bitch because she'd always sit on my lap on all the podcasts and curl up with me. She's my little tuxedo. And then I had Bandito, my big old black cat, right? And he was fucking huge, like huge. But he would love to show his butthole to everybody on the podcasts. And so when he passed on December 9th of last year, people have been asking like, where's Bandito? Where's Bandito? And it just became part of what was normal. Like they recognized a part of them within me from what I was doing in my own life. Either they wanted it or they just laughed about it, but it was something like, hee, Bandito's butthole. And it was something that people really, Gene, I see you laughing your ass off over.
No, because here's what I was going to say to you. I think people just noticed that your corner of the screen went from 2 assholes to 1. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Good.
I just had to do that. I apologize.
So good.
Yeah.
The wittiness in that was just incredible, Gene.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God. I think I
I'm
just
sorry,
cried.
Gregors. I didn't really mean it. I just had to do it.
I just dropped a tear. That was hilarious. Nick, give me your thoughts on this one, man. I mean, do you feel this is something that's people can use, like cat buttholes or two assholes going from 1 to 2? Where would you stand on this?
Yeah. So Kyle brought up something, and I think he brought up the story, right? So we talk about like documenting your life. I was saying, I don't know if I said this in the pre-show. Now it's all a blur about if it's on your calendar, that's how things get done, right? That's how you've heard that before. Version 2.0 of that is pulling out your phone and documenting your life on social media. And so it does take there's a muscle there that makes you not feel like an idiot holding up your phone, because there's two fears of documenting your life online. One is, oh my God, this is on the internet forever, and I hope I don't mess this up. That's your first fear. Once you get over that, the second fear is, all these people are looking at me. I'm in a public place. Who am I? Am I trying to be some kind of famous person? Like I'm not that person. I'm an introvert or whatever. Like this is weird to me in public. So those are two hurdles you kind of have to get over. But documenting your life, it goes into telling your story. So right now, the best people online that are getting your attention, I promise you, look at the people that you follow. If you're watching this show, Greg, us, whoever your favorite people are on YouTube, you're following their story. You watch to tune into their story. And so how do you take your personal brand of what you do? And Kyle mentioned the passive part of it. The passive part of it is just documenting your story and telling a story in general. Today I was at a team meeting. It's not the rates are this and you should do this, and I got a mortgage broker and I love referrals. I was at a team meeting. They had an awesome lunch. I love this
pizza
vendor who can't. Yeah, I always love pizza, right? But yes, so I love the food. And by the way, we learned this one new thing. That's ancillary, right? So telling your story is really, really important. Getting over the hump, and then having more at bats. So like it sounds to me like what Kyle talks about is pulling your phone all the time, and we can parlay this into the paid side. Is you don't necessarily worry about the video as much when you're shooting a video every day, putting out a piece of content every single day. Yep. It's not as important. There's not as much pressure behind it, because if you're only posting one time a month, then it's like, oh my God, this has to be good. But guess what? Your idea of what good is and what people receive it are two totally different things. And oftentimes when you start posting all the time, the thing that you think is awesome, nobody's going to react to.
So Nick, let me ask you a question really quickly. I want Kyle and Gene to jump in on this, but Nick, I want to ask you a question. When it comes to doing, because you brought up stories, right, and kind of how to tell a story, there's a very specific way on how to tell it. And should you be on every platform? So TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and Facebook Stories. I mean, there's a lot of other places, but I mean, these places are getting a lot of attention. I mean, would you tell your story on these different platforms? Would you pick one? How would you operate on this?
I mean, that's a 2-hour conversation, mastermind.
Yes, it is.
Mastermind. So I personally think right now, Facebook and Instagram are still super powerful. Okay. A lot of people don't think your Facebook newsfeed it gets you a lot of engagement, whatever, but usually the people in your Facebook newsfeed, meaning your personal profile, are the people closest to you. So you should be posting content there. Stories between Instagram and Reels. I think Reels, I do a little bit of testing on both. I think Reels have a very much more explosive because you have a little bit more search engine side of it, and there's a little bit more length of history, right? So a lot of times you open up a TikTok and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to do a TikTok and then I'm going to explode. Well, most realtors have an Instagram account of some kind that have been active for maybe a couple of years. So you could already have a base of 200, 300, 500 people. So Reels have just as much growth. You can get 50,000 views on a Reel just like you can on a TikTok, except you have more people in that ecosystem already. But for me, I've talked about this before. If you are a hardcore cold caller, KW, right? Greg McDaniel, most of the people listening to this show, if you're the guy or gal that's waking up at 6 a.m., working out, going to the office, dialing from 8 to 12, okay, those days are over. Please listen to me when I tell you this. You are much better off. If you feel the need to do that just for now business, fine. Take that 3 hours, cut it down to 2 hours, and use one of those hours that you're dedicating on a daily basis to creating content and actually putting some thought behind this.
My man.
About am I going to, because it's that important. It needs to be in your calendar time block content. So it doesn't have to be in the moment. And I guess this is where I see a lot of people mess up too. Like if you're going throughout your day and you're thinking, I can't shoot this video because I don't have time to edit it. I don't have time to post it. I don't know which platform it's going to go on. Just shoot stuff as you go on throughout the day. And then the next day you have an hour to sit down and curate it. Is this going to go on stories? Is this 15 seconds? Is this 30 seconds? Is this a minute? Is this going to be at IGTV long form? Am I going to YouTube? Like there's several different plays, but it needs to be part of your playbook of take some content and have a certain amount of time per day to know which platforms. But for me, Facebook, newsfeed, stories are awesome. If you can, stories can be scary because you got to do content on a daily basis, right?
No. I'm going to disagree with you. I love you to pieces, Nick Sakis.
Okay.
Here's the reason why it can't be. And Kyle, I want you to weigh in on this.
Sure.
Stories, yes, theoretically, Nick, I will agree with you. They could be, they could be scary. But if you do one personal, like you lost 140 pounds, dude. Like you literally lost how much my girlfriend weighs. Actually, lost more than that.
Yeah.
And that's a story, right? And I see you doing your workouts, and I've been beating your ass over the phone for fucking years about getting your garage gym up and running, and you're actually doing it now, and I'm super proud, and I love watching your stories about that. But then, so you do one thing about you doing working out, and then you do one thing about a deal or a situation you have or a buyer. So do two stories, one personal, one professional a day. Could any of the panelists here is that actually scary? I mean, is that Kyle? Is that something that do you find a lot of people that the people are frightened of?
Well, I think it's less about fear and it's more about insignificance. I think most people just go, I'm freaking boring. Like what? Like I'm not doing anything cool. That to the outsider looking in, I would go, dude, Nick's lost all that weight. That's cool. Well, to Nick, that's been over such a long period of time. To him, it's mundane. And there's millions of people out there losing a ton of weight, right? So when we're the liver of the story, it just seems to feel way less cool than when we're looking at someone else's. And so actually, there's an awesome marketer out there named Chelsea Pites who teaches Instagram for realtors. I interviewed her on my podcast a few weeks back. And she said, there's magic in the mundane.
Huh.
I like that.
And when she said that, I thought, holy crap, that's freaking awesome. Because if we're not careful, especially in the narcissistic space of real estate,
right,
we will spend all of our time trying to get the right photo in front of the right Lambo, in front of the right downtown, design behind us. And what we effectively do is we outkick all of our friends. Because our content shows that we have not only arrived, but surpassed.
Yeah.
And we actually hurt our sphere because we try to paint this picture of something that we're not. But when we realize that the greatest thing I can do on this show is not look super cool, it's looking super normal.
Yeah.
And being relatable to people and not this brilliant person that's so much smarter than you. You can't even sit at the same table with me. Right. Luckily for me, that's not hard. But it's about the mundane, right? It's about like in Texas right now, we're snowed in. So it's taking a picture of me walking the trash to the curb under 8 inches of snow and going, anybody else doing this today? Because this is not normal. That seems so boring, but that's real life. And that would hit so many people right at the right place.
Dude, imagine walking out there in flip-flops with painted toenails and be like, anybody else doing this shit right now? Because my toesies are cold. But I mean, I think you're nailing it on the head. I mean, it's 100% being relatable. There's a lot of folks that I know that they still try to do the Lambo photos and everything else. Look, man, there's so many stories after being in the business this long of people that try to showboat and then they lose business because they're showboating.
Yep.
My dad, guys, he's a top broker in all 3 states he's ever been in. He's gotten more awards than you can ever get in your entire life. He actually threw them all away because they were taking up too much space in his garage. And you know what? He buys his pants from Nordstrom's. He buys his shirts from Costco. He drives a 2005 GMC Denali, and he gives one royal fuck about nobody. And when he rolls up to somebody, he sits there and he makes a relationship, and he just goes deep with them. And you know, they know that he's not trying to oversell them. He's just being a human being. So I think, Kyle, what you're saying is absolutely spot on. And I think more people need to keep that in their brain. Look, there's a lot of marketers. I'm not going to mention any names of the guys and gals that I'm going to talk about here, but they showcase their high price cars, high price houses. You know, they go, you know, glitz and glam on everything. Look, ain't nobody give a fuck about your Lambo, your house, your whatever, given your terminology, Kyle.
But what about their jet?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a place for that. It sells courses, right? There's a place for that.
I don't like any of it. I feel you, Greg.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and it's true. It's 100% true. That's what we talked about this whole time, is selling your story and your.
But here's the bottom line. This is what I've learned, right? That would be who I would call the super douchey people.
Yeah.
And guess what? Guess what? This is the beauty of the world we live in, guys. There's enough other douchey people out there that love all that douchiness, and they want even more of that douchiness in their lives. And they're going to go buy it in droves, right? So the moral to this whole story is be you.
Yeah.
If you're the douchey person, I'm not trying to convince you to be what you're not, right? You just won't be my person.
Yeah.
And that's okay, right? Like this morning, I was literally, not even this morning, 5 minutes ago. This is the pain and the beauty of social media. I put up a post right before we started this call. And I meant at the very beginning to say, I can't believe how I can't believe or it blows my mind is what I was trying to say. And you know what my post actually said is that I blow myself. That is super awesome. Especially when you know that like I was a pastor for 10 years before I started doing this. So like that may not be as bad as like if Greg did it, but like I have certain standards that people expect from me. So when all of Pastor Kyle's former life friends see the post that said I blow myself, guys, it is what it is, right? Like I messed up. I already fixed it. But guess what? There's screenshots out there already of people that are texting it to me and making fun of me. That's just, social media. I don't care. And they're probably even paying more attention to it because I messed up than if it would have been right the first time.
Oh my God, Kyle, I'm literally crying right now. I'm laughing so hard because I find that because I do that all the time myself. And I actually had to correct a post when I was doing a screenshot of the show here. And I forgot a word. I always forget a word because I'm dyslexic and ADHD and I'm like moving too quickly for my own brain. But here's my question to Gene for this is that like, okay, so Kyle just put up a post that I blow myself, right? How can you turn this into an amazing marketing piece?
Oh my God.
Come on. What you got, Gene? Help me out. I need this.
Nick is laughing his ass off on the other side, guys.
Because he knows where my head's going. Like, you want me to be the Gene at the dinner party where my wife looks at me and goes, I guess, did you just say that?
Yep. Yes. She's not here right now, so she can't even filter you. No, look,
I'm human. I think it's one of those things where I would just leave it at I don't know. I might just fix it and just overlook the marketing piece of it and just kind of say like, hey man, I'm human. I made a mistake. It's not what I intended. You get in trouble for that shit these days. So I don't know.
But see, I'll teach about that in classes that I teach moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not going to try to cover it up and be embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it as a teachable moment to help other people, which is what every realtor can be doing with every blunder they ever have in their business.
That's true.
Right? Using it for their advantage by serving people to help them not do the same thing.
Yep.
Kyle, I know we're coming to a hard stop. And I think Gene has 1 minute until you got to bail.
No, I got about 7.
You got 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Kyle, we're gonna have you back on the show. I fucking dig your vibe. I love your vibe, bro. And I think that people need to hear more about the whole coaching and mentoring and marketing and everything else. So you've dropped so much information on us today, and it's so actionable. Where can people get more of you? How can we get into Kyle's world?
Man, if only more people would ask that all the time, it would just feel so good.
Well, Nick texted me, and he wants to get into your world more. So
come on, Nick. Nick, you don't have to text Greg, dude. You can ask me directly. We have a story. So, hey, fun fact: I've lost 100 pounds twice.
Nice.
So,
are you you're on the upswing again?
Well, it depends on what day. If this was yesterday, I might have been on the downswing, but I ate pizza and who knows what else yesterday since we're snowed in. But no, Greg, I'm super easy to find. I'm Coach Kyle Draper on every platform. KyleDraper.com is my website. Man, I do so much content. Like if somebody said they can't find me, there's something wrong with them.
All right, Coach Kyle Draper for all you dyslexics. The last name is Draper.
Yep.
I do that because I'm dyslexic and I want to make sure everybody can find you. But by the way, stay put on the post show. I am going to get you rebooked. Nick, the Sackist, the shrinking man. Where are you? How can people get a hold of you? And give us one word of advice to end the show.
Don't eat pizza every day.
No. Okay. Nope. You're off the show for life.
I've been there.
Get out of here.
I would still do that if my waist allowed me to, honestly, because I love it that much. But no, just follow me on social media, just like Kyle. I mean, I post organically a lot. If you wanted to find out a little bit more about paid advertising, my website is getamplifiedmarketing.com. If you were to want to book a call with me and rap a little bit, if you're spending money on Zillow leads or Realtor.com leads or any place other than with me as far as paid advertising, then we should talk because I could shine some light on your situation.
Yeah. Nick is a fucking legend. That's why I have him on the show. Gene Volpe, how do they get a hold of you? And what do you do?
I'm going to do something different today.
Oh, my God. Really?
Can I do that?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask for some help today. So I have two friends, Joe Harrison and Jesse Schwager, who just started a page on Facebook called Spin for NDSS. So they both have very close ties to the National Down Syndrome Society. And this year, we launched a campaign to help raise funds for the NDSS. So if you go over to teamanniemac.com, it'll take you right to that Facebook page. And listen, don't let me stop you from donating. Feel free, but that's not what it is. We're going to be holding these really cool raffles and auctions over the next year, and all the proceeds go to NDSS. So go to teamanniemac.com, join the group, and just wait for the next pieces of information. And if you wanted to donate to NDSS, the link is on that page. But don't feel obligated. Do it if you want to. And then stay tuned for some really cool stuff coming up. You boys go join it. There'll be some raffles. You'll probably be able to win some stuff for your wives. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to do some good in the next couple of months.
God, I fucking love you guys.
Greg, I'm really proud of you.
Why?
It only took you 48 minutes to remember the solo button.
And it went, notice who it went to. The best looking dude on the panel.
Unbelievable.
That man right there.
Thank you.
All right, douchebags. I love you guys.
Part of our story, Greg. If people watch the show,
I know
the solo button is part of the story.
I stop busting my nuts. I get it. Okay. Guys, I love you to pieces. My stuff is scrolling along the bottom. Hit me up for information about EXP and kind of what we're doing. We got some amazing things. We have a trucking company that we're starting exclusive with my boy Jake Wolf over at Clever Leads and kind of stuff we're doing. We can move anybody in the lower 48 at basically like a referral fee price point, and it's a hell of a trigger point. I've already had people hit me up about it. So if you want to be a part of that with EXP and kind of my crew, hit me up. Just send me a DM and we'll go from there. But I got to tell you, I love every one of you. You guys are absolutely amazing human beings. We could not do this show without you. You know, Nick and Gene, thank you for being my co-hosts on the marketing roundtable. Jake couldn't make it today. He was up till 5 a.m. I got a text from him 2 minutes ago that he was up to 5 a.m. doing some work. So he slept through his alarm for the show. But that guy's crushing skulls over there. Kyle, you are a legend amongst men, and
come on.
love what you are doing, man. I just dig your vibe. I dig your, the whole thing you're doing, brother. And I wish you the best, most success. And, Gene, Jake, and Kyle, since you're going to be our pseudo co-host today, what we do, Kyle, on this show is at the end of it, we always put a bow on the show. So we have to pick a color for the bow on the show. So, Gene, we're going to go to you. We're going to go to Nick, and then I end with Kyle. So I need 3 colors.
Blue.
Blue?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm still going Buccaneer red because they won the fucking Super Bowl.
Oh, Lord.
Fair. You're allowed for a little
Ugh.
All of us.
bit. Yeah.
Kyle?
Garbage.
Well, then I'm going Navy for my Dallas Cowboys.
All right. Nick is dying laughing.
You shut your mouth, Nick.
I just deleted you from my phone.
You
I had you in there as a contact, and now, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, guys, thank you so much. We love you to pieces, guys. Everyone out, guys and gals out there, when you guys are listening to this, please go to everywhere you listen to your podcast. Give us a 5-star, not a 2-star review. Give a shout out to Kyle, Nick, or Gene, or myself for any content that you like. It helps the algorithm let other people know that we are out there bringing value. We're one of the top 10 podcasts in our realm for the last couple of years. So help us continue this and bring this to anybody you might think this could be useful for. So in respect for all 3 of my co-hosts today, we have a blue, a red, and a navy bow on this show. Guys, we love you. Until next time, peace out, ninjas. We gone.